This weekend I'll be focusing on teaching Greenland rolling, primarily in the pool, and a lot of beginner rolling, some intermediate, and a little bit of advanced. A lot of what I teach now with the hardest rolls, I've never even seen online. I've never been taught it. It's a different concept than I've seen. When you watch some of the Inuit paddlers do the hardest rolls, it's pretty obvious that the disconnection between energy between the legs and the upper body and the load drive concept. A lot of people are just doing a hip snap to roll a kayak, or they're talking about lifting the leg, but they're not really talking about what's happening to the other leg. The load drive concept is about the leg. So if you're loading a kayak, you're gonna lift one leg and drop one leg down, and you're putting pressure upward and downward on the kayak. So if this is the load position, this would be the drive position. So it's the opposite. So I'm pushing up and down, and then up and down like this. So when I roll the kayak, I'm loading the kayak up, and some of the benefits to loading the kayak is I can get more power when I drive the kayak. And one way that I like to explain that to students is like throwing a baseball. If I throw a baseball from my shoulder and I throw it forward, I might get about 10 feet. But if I take that baseball to my shoulder and I load it up, and then I throw it, I'll probably get about 50 feet. So I gain a tremendous amount of power. When you drive that leg, just kick it, hold it heavy. It's almost like, think about this. If I'm going to punch a board and break it, I don't want to focus my energy on the board. I want to focus my energy on the opposite side of the board. Follow it. So it's like when you lift that. But it can work against you, just like throwing a baseball. When you first learned to throw a baseball and your dad said, get it back there and throw it, and you did this and it just kind of fell to the ground, or it went to the left or the right, it's very much the same. The timing and the technique is still got to be there in order to get that accurate throw. So it's very much the same as a kayak. Some of the benefits, again, to loading. When you're loading the kayak, you can get your face closer to the surface, therefore you can reach further for leverage. It makes it easier to roll a kayak. When it comes to some of the hardest rolls, forward finish brick roll, for example, you've got to load and drive the kayak. If you don't, it's going to be almost impossible to do that roll. So the load drive concept is the trick to the hardest rolls.